Hi everyone, welcome to Movieception Show. My name is Fariba, and tonight we are watching the first episode of The Penguin. Let me just say, I'm surprised how. Well, for one thing, I'm surprised that we are actually getting a Penguin show because that's something that I never would have imagined, especially given the fact that the Batman was a movie, and most occasions we don't really see kind of this expansion on that. But even that being the case, let's just say this, right? So I believe that Batman came, like, what was it, about 2 years ago? That was a whole, right before that, there was a whole conversation about, Robert Pattinson and how he's still the Twilight boy, which honestly, like, even before then, I still recall, like, just realizing that he's actually a very talented actor who, just happened to have this misfortune of being in a vampire, a shiny vampire movie called Twilight. But I have to say, I've been noticing how great of an actor he is, especially with the choices of roles he would take. I will say I was pretty surprised that he was going to play, Bruce Wayne in the Batman, but I watched the movie in theaters with my good buddy Marilyn. I think it was like almost 3 hours, but overall, I have to say I did enjoy the Batman. It was definitely a very different vibe. It definitely felt more neo-noir crime thriller than really just like your typical superhero or dark superhero movie. Which again, I love it when filmmakers take the risk of playing around with tone. We've seen this with Christopher Nolan's version of The Dark Knight with Christian Bale and everything like that. And then of course we saw Matt Reeves do his own rendition of the Batman. And of course there's that whole conversation of how does this connect to the DCU, but we now know that this movie, the Batman and of course now the Penguin are going to be more like the extension of it, and it's not really part of James Gunn's primary DCU universe. So there's still going to be another Batman, but then we still have this universe. So, but even with that being the case, the Penguin was announced. We got the Penguin, which is really insane because I have to say, I still remember when I saw the character for the first time, I did not realize that was Colin Farrell. And it wasn't until later that I was like, wait a second, that was Colin Farrell as the Penguin? Like, holy shit, he looks unrecognizable. I think that's the craziest part about this, is that Colin Farrell just did such a great job playing the Penguin, or I believe his name is like Falcone or something, but he does a really great job of playing this character. Now we get to see him again in The Penguin, where it's now finally centered around him. He's a really great actor. I mean, he's probably one of the most underrated actors out there. It's pretty surprising to see that he hasn't won any sort of, acting accolade as at this point. But who knows? Maybe that might change with this show. But yeah, I've actually pretty much avoided trailers for this just because, I really just want to get into the vibe of it myself. I had hoped to had watched the Batman again just to kind of get me in, into the groove of it, but I did not. But even that being the case, I'll probably watch at some point this week anyway. But even that being the case, I'm very intrigued to see this series. The reviews have been absolutely great for it. So yeah, I mean, yeah, without further ado, let's get right down into the first episode of The Penguin. Oh, I love the score.
Along the city
Okay, so this was right at the end of the Batman, right there with the stadium.
Watching the Batman vigilante atop Gotham Square.
After the shakeup in leadership, insiders worry about their future within the Falcone organization.
Oh man, this feels very like Sopranos. Jeez.
Beautiful, 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 beautiful.
I see you've made yourself at home.
Hey, you got some big shoes to fill. Not too big. I mean, manageable shoes. But you're Alberto friggin' Falcone, the new kingpin of Gotham. We should celebrate that.
These soldiers skims money off the top. It's okay, man. You were smart about it. Never took enough for Pop to mind. See, he knew what it meant for a guy like you to get a piece. How it's so sweet, too. It's so pathetic.
Oh.
You really think people would make a float of your dumb face and march you down the street chanting your goddamn name? A little bitch.
Frick. Shit. Oh my god. I can hear Colin's laugh. The score is great, by the way.
Hey! Hey! Oh, you sons of bitches! Go! Fuck out of here! Go!
Oh.
Jesus. Take a breath. What do we got here? Victor.
You got yourself.
Head first. You disrespected me, you're gonna disrespect me, Vic. No, because you and me, we're in this together now. Which means I own you. Badly. You can drive. What? What do you think of this? It's a little air freshener. Aqua Paradise. You smell it? It's nice, huh? I need an alibi. Ideally for the whole night.
Sounds like we had fun.
No, I'm serious, Eve. Yeah. Can you help me out?
This is one. Makes no goddamn sense.
You want one of mine?
He's just dragging him.
Well, maybe it'll be useful keeping you around. For now. See if you've got what you say. But if you...
That was not. Oh no, we're saying more of it. Okay.
You'll be fine. It's gonna be fine.
Damn.
I'm messing with you, kid. I just sit tight. You know, maybe look for your sense of humor. It's gotta be here somewhere.
What a way to terrorize a kid.
You're handing the Maronis or someone fucking worse the keys to fucking kingdom.
The
Don't you
last
get
thing
that,
we need is
Johnny?
a goddamn gang war. Now, Miloshi has
Get that,
he's
Johnny?
He's a courteous guy. I am not. You will do as you're told.
Business.
What kind of shipment?
I can't reveal the details yet. No, but it's brand new. Something that'll help us expand beyond drops. And all you guys gotta do is sit back and read.
Arkham?
Yeah.
No. I've been rehabilitated.
I thought we agreed.
Have you heard from Alberto?
Sophia, please.
Al?
He went out last night. He refused his bodyguards and he never came home.
Sophia, that's enough.
Purple. Very subtle.
Well, technically it's plum. You know, leather seats come standard too, so.
Oh my god.
I insisted I go with him, but he's been so protective of me. He didn't want me leaving the house. It was all part of this plan he cooked up. I think the drug business, and it just doesn't sit right. How do you know about his plan? And why on earth would you pitch it as your own? I've always known you were capable of more.
Is that implying something?
We in trouble?
Kind of. Oh my god.
You.
What are
Huh?
you doing
Princess.
here? Oh man.
You look handsome.
Thank you.
You straight though.
Close your eyes. Open your eyes.
Oh,
It's too much.
oh, he's using
No, perfect. Suits you, man. What are you talking
You
about?
come in here, you trying to buy me off with a necklace? Some bullshit about an urgent special occasion.
Ma,
Did I raise my sons to lie to me? What did you do? What did you do? Come on. What did you do?
I shot Alberto Falcone. He's dead. It ain't safe for you here. You understand? Sofia Falcone's at Arkham and she knows.
True.
It was impulsive, it was stupid. Is that what you want to hear? Jeez, I'm trying to take care of you.
Stupid.
I can't risk it. I can't risk you. Well, you got it. If something happened to me.
Stop talking.
Yeah.
How weak they sound? Like a little pussy boy? Look at me.
Bitch.
Is that what you are, Oswald? Weak little pussy boy?
No.
You're mine. You're my big, strong Bolivar boy. You never forget that. Come here. Think you shot that junkie pisshead because you wanted to. Just like that. Oh, yeah. What are you
Mother
gonna
of
do
the
today?
year.
But he's dead. And I'm here now. And I'm offering you the opportunity of a lifetime. And this first hit, it's just the beginning. I know a lot more than people think. I'll keep playing.
Goes down right under your nose, and you got nothing to do with it.
Oh, he's like a
Fuck
two-time
outta
son of a bitch.
Look, I can see you're upset. You almost forgot.
The ring.
It is yours.
Oh, clever. Oh my.
Being turned into a thing. But after a while, I just started to think, well, Alberto went missing. I don't know. What do you say?
Yes!
Not you.
Yes! Fucking yes!
Okay.
No, Sophia. Ah!
It's just you and me now. Okay? So I want you to think. I want you to really think. Tracy?
Yes.
Is it all in my head? Tell me. Tell me that I'm too emotional.
Oh, she's gonna find Albert. Oh, they're gonna try and pin on the Salvatore, huh? He went to the slushy place.
Yeah, at least Sophia got the message. Now, with Sal wearing that ring around Blackgate, Maroney's ain't got no choice but to take credit. That's what matters. I'm gonna run this goddamn city. And I want you in on it.
Really?
When you mix the flavors?
Yeah, it's good.
No, it's
Yeah.
not just good, it's
Yeah,
better.
it's true though. It's true.
Fucking
Coming
best.
from someone here. 9 to 5. That was the first episode of The Penguin right there, and I have to say, that was actually pretty good. I mean, I'll say, no, I'll do that. 3, 2, 1. So that was the first episode of The Penguin right there, and I gotta say that was quite intriguing. From the beginning to the end, just seeing what Oswald / the Penguin is doing and how he is basically playing this game of his where he's manipulating and playing with all the cards. I mean, I have to say that just the first episode, there's just so much that happens. And that's given the fact that this show is very heavy on the dialogue. I know when it comes to like, because again, typically speaking, when we look at superhero stuff, like, yeah, we're going to have dialogue in superhero movies, shows, whatever. But a lot of times there's like other things that are going on. So there isn't much dedication and delicacy when it comes to things like dialogue or screenwriting or anything like that. But this is like where it's like really, really forward on that. And it really works out because of the fact that, again, because of how the Batman and how it really set itself up as like this neo-noir crime thriller kind of series, movie, that the show in itself is continuing that off by, yes, the Penguin is someone that we know is a villain in the comic books and has his own kind of personality, costume, look, and all that sort of stuff. Of course, it's going to be very different from a show like this, where it's a little bit more sophisticated, a little bit more realistic in its own setting, as well as being very neo-noir crime. And we get all elements of that in this show. I mean, honestly, like when I'm watching this, it definitely gives off the vibes of Sopranos, Goodfellas, or heck, even The Godfather right there. Like, which is like, okay, I did not expect something to go so deep in that. I mean, and not just that, but just seeing kind of the depths of how the whole crime syndicate works here. Like now, again, I'm like, I forgot a lot of things about from Batman because I didn't get the chance to watch it, so I may have forgotten a couple of details. But I do recall the Falcone. I do recall about the Maroons or something like that. And now it's clear that now with the events that happened here, right, because of Oswald losing his temper with Alberto, that this is now the situation that he's in, right? So, and I really love how everything just gets really calculated, how it kind of builds up to the moment, then seeing all the shortcomings and obstacles that come in the way, only to see that we get this ending right here. I gotta say that ending, like the sequence at the end where he gets caught by Sophia and his guards, and just that whole sequence right there, I was just like, holy crap, this is insanity. So again, just seeing mature Batman universe material is great to see on screen, and just taking a different approach to it is like that it's really nice to see those kinds of things, and we got that right here. You can definitely tell that Colin Farrell is really exuding himself in this role. Like, again, every time I watch him, I'm just like, oh my god, like this is Colin Farrell. This is him as Penguin, and yet he doesn't even look like who he typically looks like. Appears. I swear there were even some moments where I'm just thinking, is this really Colin Farrell acting, or is this because of the fact the suit that he's wearing, it's causing a little bit of some physicality issues? Because I know from what I'm aware, he had an interview or something like that saying how the actual makeup stuff takes a long time for him, like almost like 5 hours, and that can be a little hard and tough, especially when you have so much makeup, so much of the prosthetics on for such a long time, and then doing so in the same time trying to act out scenes. And here you can tell like he is really putting it out there with his performance as Oswald. So again, like already getting right off the bat with just world-class performances, masterclass performances. One thing I did not expect, of course, again, I was not caught up with a lot of trailers, so this is like really kind of like my first exposure to like what's really happening with the story. I really love how he takes in this kid named Victor, especially after this one incident with like how they almost tried to jack his car. Just the fact that how he's now taking him under his wing, like as his protege, and yet how there's still a part of Oswald where he is, yes, because he is someone who comes from a much lower class, someone who, is just nothing more than just a soldier or just like a wingman for somebody who is a little bit more high in the status that's like, now you see this guy who is really trying to, you know, climb up the ladder and trying to get his own way of trying to get some of that power for himself, and then having someone alongside him to get on his wing, like almost like as if he's now taking kind of what was Carmine's role, and now he's taking it, and now he's like taking in someone of his own to become his kind of, you know, version of himself. So I really love the dynamic that we saw. Like I was like really concerned about Victor for a second. I was like, oh man, is he gonna like trick him or something? I'm like, and then it's like, okay, we see eventually that, you know, after that whole scene, that eventually they start to kind of become, I guess you can say, partners in a way. So I can't wait to see more of that dynamic. Like I'm really tuned into kind of just how that's going to grow as we get more into the series, especially with all the all the chaos that's gonna happen with the mafia, with the underworld, and all that sort of stuff. Now, one of the things I have to know. Now, one of the things I do want to mention, and I think I will say it's really surprising because I was not really focusing on this. Again, I've seen a couple snippets of the trailer, but not as far deep into like what I'm seeing here. I have to say, aside from the performance that we're seeing from Colin Farrell, I have to mention just the bits that we've seen so far with Cristin Milioti, who plays Sophia here. I am genuinely surprised how remarkable she is when it comes to her presence here. Because like she shows herself off as a character who's like, you know, I'm now reformed. I'm revealing myself as someone who's a psychotic killer. But I'm reformed, right? Only to see that when we get to the end, like she is someone who is containing her emotions and her anger because she's very concerned about her brother, and then just the amount of pain and pressure and chaos that she puts onto Oswald. I was like, holy shit, like you can literally see my reaction. I'm just like, oh my god, like holy crap, she is scary as hell. Like there's something very subtle about the scariness of who this character is. I have to say, it's so subtle, it's so grounded. I have to say, I'm going to be keeping an eye on her because there is even a chance that she actually might end up becoming the standout of the show. I mean, just from this first episode right here, I was like, oh my god, she is absolutely remarkable in the most scariest way possible. And it's like, wow, like Oswald gotta, you know, keep it on his back, right? So, but yeah, overall, having seen this first episode, I mean, again, we still have a lot more to go, and this is like already the quality that we're seeing here with the Penguin. So I have to say, like, again, I love neo-noir stuff. That's like typically one of my top genres out there when it comes to just about any movie or TV show. Like, I love the neo-noir. I love crimes. I love it when it does take the time to really develop things, and then seeing kind of how there's this calculated game that's going on where now it's like, okay, how are, you know, certain players going to try and play around with certain things and almost play their own chess game. And so far, like, we're already seeing kind of where this is going with Oswald and his way of calculating and trying to play two sides and also kind of being duplicitous and all that sort of stuff. And that's the kind of thing that I'm very intrigued to see how that's going to move forward, of course, especially now that he's kind of ignited this whole feud between two families that have quite a history. So yeah, no, I have to say, this is a pretty remarkable start to the Penguin. The dialogue is great. The performance is already top notch. The beginning sequence right there with like that whole conversation between Oswald and Roberto, I was like, oh my god, this is like actually really good. And then, like I had a sense that it was going to turn out totally wrong, and it did such that. Just seeing Oswald and how he's like, always thinking about how he can be rewarded and how he can be, you know, celebrated in a way, how that's kind of his goal, just to be revered by people as if he's a god. Like, you can see kind of how it has a little bit of a god complex in him. So gonna see where that goes. And then of course that ending right there. I mean, it's just like, wow, like this is a way to kind of like it felt like what's so amazing is that even the writing itself is so structurally well done. You have the beginning, middle, end of like a whole episode of certain events that are happening. It's just like, wow, like this is kind of a really nice nice change of pace, especially one that's like technically kind of in the superhero genre, but of course it's not gonna have Batman. It's not gonna have like all the typical heroes, or in the sense that it's gonna have a little bit more of that cartoonish, a little bit more of that playful vibe. No, it's not gonna be like that. It's gonna be very sophisticated. It's gonna be very subtle. It's gonna be very mature. I think that's the best way to say it. It's gonna be very mature, and we're seeing how very mature this kind of story is. Again, that's not to say that when it comes to the Batman universe and just anything about Batman is ever not mature. I mean, we've seen with Nolan's version, like they've been very grounded, very serious, but this one's like it's really going into like, oh, we're gonna go really deep into kind of the maturity, the violence, the gore. Like, I mean, they did not spare on the gore, the violence here. I mean, the brutality of what we saw with some of the kills and some of the things that, Sophia was doing, all that sort of stuff. I mean, and they're not going to hold back. So if this is what we're seeing right now, I cannot wait to see what's going to happen with the remaining part of the show. Like, I mean, again, we just got to the first episode. It's already setting such a standard, and wow. So yeah, that's all I have to say about the Penguin right there. Again, I look forward to seeing what's going to happen next week. But what are your thoughts having now seen the first episode of the Penguin? What are your thoughts seeing Colin Farrell again? Just the fact that he's playing the Penguin Oswald, of course. Just the whole impression of him and just all that makeup and the prosthetic that he's wearing. What are your thoughts about the performance? What are your thoughts about just kind of the whole tone and the whole structuring of its story, and just kind of how it's conveying some of its elements, how it's a very mature, violent, very sophisticated kind of Batman story? Like, what are your thoughts having seen that, and how, expands on from what we've seen from the Batman? What are your thoughts about seeing Cristin Milioti, I believe that's how you say her name, Cristin Milioti, as Sophia Falcone? Like, honestly, I think she's right now. I think if there's any, like, considering the fact that Colin Farrell is a very top-notch actor and one who has really done such a great job, the fact that I'm now saying that she actually might be one-upping him already, like, I mean, again, it might be too soon to say that, but what are your thoughts having seen her, right? The fact that she is now very involved in the series, how, we're already seeing just a quick glimpse of her in this first episode, and it's already very scary. But what are your thoughts having seen that? What are your thoughts about this dynamic between Victor and Oswald? I'm really intrigued about it. I'm very invested in it. I want to see how that grows. But what are your thoughts having seen that? And then just about anything else that you feel like you expect from the show moving forward, as we still have like a lot more episodes going on. Like, what are your expectations, your anticipation? What do you think's gonna happen? Do you really think Robert Pattinson's gonna actually show up as Batman? I know that's a huge discussion right there. Let me know your thoughts below. Make sure to like and subscribe.